All right. So what you got for us today there, Mr. Nebrasky?
I want to give away some money.
Okay.
Okay.
People out there who want money, listen up.
Well, actually,
money.
a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
So, what restaurant we want to use?
I mean, I would use Silvio's. It's local.
All right, and okay, but I got to tell you, Peggy, we and John, when you guys open, we're going to be sending a lot of winners to you.
Yeah,
that's right
for sure.
We're going to do the I Beat Peggy T-shirt.
All right,
too.
and this question has to do with something near and dear to Taylor. Okay.
Oh boy.
All right, dogs.
I was going to say
I
it's
swear
got
to
four
you,
legs.
I just said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
In my
I gave a hint. Okay. What? Boy, I gave a bad hint. Okay. What balloon made the most appearances at the Macy's
Don't say it.
Thanksgiving
Don't say
Day
it, Taylor. You
Parade?
can't give it away.
Okay, I know what it is.
since
I
Of course, she almost said it.
But the real question is, how many did they make?
Oh.
Okay. How many appearances did they make? What balloon? and
That
how
I
many
have
Is
no
that
idea.
balloon going to be in this year's parade?
Of course.
I don't know.
I'm sure
I'll
it
talk
is.
about it because they did stop that balloon in 2016.
Oh.
Okay.
And they brought it back in 2019.
Yeah, one of my favorite characters. By the way,
too.
is what's his name coming back this year?
Who?
The weatherman that was sick?
Oh, you mean Al Roker?
Al Roker. Is he coming back?
He's fine now.
He's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he wasn't there last year. He took all the holiday shows off.
I love the Thanksgiving Day parade.
It's a great
Love it.
parade.
Oh, who doesn't?
Did you ever take the kids to it?
No, because
I did.
I have no patience, to wait
Really?
and go through. Really? Now, if I had one of those very wealthy friends who had an apartment right there on the
That you
parade
can hang
route,
inside
Yeah,
and-
I would do that, but
There's not apartments on that street.
all
Where
right.
Macy's is, they're all stores.
oh, yeah, but it's a long parade.
Yeah, it is very
so
long.
let
You
me
catch it anywhere, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
beautiful.
what balloon has the most appearances at the Macy Day Parade, and how many appearances? Okay, for $50.
All right, 845-651-1110. We're going to give you a gift certificate. Well, not we. Paul's going to give you a gift certificate for $50 to go to Sylvia's restaurant.
Get yourself a really nice meal.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Great service, great people.
Absolutely. I want to talk about something today that we talk about every Thanksgiving because it's important. We all talk about how Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, is the plumber's busiest day. Like we talked about last week, that the busiest day for the pizza industry is Halloween.
Oh,
Right.
By the way, I was at the election headquarters,
Do not
a
interrupt,
number
Taylor.
of them, going from place to place, and I ended up at the Warwick one, which was at Drowned Lands.
Yes.
They make the best pizza, and I'm not a pizza lover. It was unbelievable. It's a hand-tossed pizza crust.
Taylor has just gone 90 degrees again.
No,
it was
but he
a squirrel
mentioned-
thing. He mentioned pizza. I'll mention, I don't know, Hawaii. Let's
I've
throw a
been
couple
there
of
twice.
Yeah. Let's throw, she'll just go off into something.
And if I'm at Drownlands, I'm worried about the beer, but the
Yeah,
pizza's
me
pretty
too.
good too.
Oh,
but
pizza was great.
and they just put that pizza in.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just talk about the really important things to do around this time of year.
And
when
what
it's
is the
starting to get
problem?
cold
Why
this
are you
morning.
so busy this time of the year?
We are busy this time of year for heat, but why we are super busy the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday is our busiest day because a lot of the reasons we're going to go over right here. Okay.
Okay.
And I want to help people as we do every year. Make sure the holiday is without a plumber.
Yeah, but
okay?
see, no, you're actually taking business away from yourself, Paul. Did you sit down and realize this is not a good thing?
I listen. A long time ago, when you put me next to Taylor, I was warned. Okay, but
It obviously didn't do any good.
No, it's like, hey, don't call us. You won't need us anymore.
Somebody told me about the glass, and I thought I was sitting next to you, and I didn't get it.
There you go.
Okay, I didn't
Only
get it.
Frank has that privilege.
There you go.
Because he spends 24/7 with me. He needs some
So
protection.
let's just talk a couple things.
Okay.
The first thing this time of the year that I want everybody to do now that they're now watering their lawn, take off their outside hose off their. Did you do it at your house, Frank?
I did not, because I was told by Paul Helmerich
Okay.
that the plastic garbage thing outside is one of those ones that you don't have to because it's inside where the valve turns off.
Okay.
Is that true or not?
So let's talk about that. There's two types of hose faucets. Okay. There's a frost-free, which we talk about,
Right.
which runs into the house and it's pitched down so it's warm, but you still have to take the hose off, Frank, so it drains.
Oh,
because
okay.
if the water can't drain, it's going to freeze.
So question for you though: do I have one of those, or do I have?
Yes. So Paul and Nebrasky, when you made the Frank burgers for me,
Yes, you check that out.
I only checked the one out in the back.
Yeah.
Okay, which wasn't installed right, but that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, we can fix that
when
one
you say
day.
in the back, is it the back of the house?
Yeah, back of the house.
I'm talking by the deck. If I'm
Yeah.
looking
Okay.
at your house
In the
to
back.
the left.
That's the only one you use, though, right?
Yeah, but-
right, but
yeah.
there's another one on the side of the house too,
That's
which
what I
is the
thought.
same
Yeah.
thing.
So people think those are frost free no matter what. You don't have to shut it off on those, but you have to pull the hose off. Otherwise, the water can't drain out of them and it freezes.
Can I also shut it off inside?
If there's a shut off. If there's a shut off.
There may not be, right?
Yeah. But the important part about that is what people don't understand. When they freeze inside because the ice backs up to the inside. Then when you turn them on for the first time in the spring, they flood your house. Okay. And you're outside water and you come back in and there's a flood. Okay. Really, really important. We do probably 10 of those a year that people forget to take their hose off.
All right, so that's what we got to do, take the hose off.
Yeah, or if you're using a hose now, just make we're okay now probably till like December.
Right.
But
yeah,
just take it off when you're done.
Yeah, well, you don't know. We might
now.
get a spell. Yeah, you might get a spell of 15, 20 degree weather in the next couple of weeks for a couple of days, and that could do it.
It's gotten cold early.
But
this year.
all right, and that's not the biggest reason, for a Black Friday calls, but we'll talk about it in a second. Another thing, with everybody coming to Thanksgiving, one of the big calls that we're getting, maybe somebody's finally winning our contest.
Well,
right?
I'll answer that.
Okay. What, Frank?
Hold on.
Okay.
It's Taylor.
It's Taylor?
Listen.
Hold on.
Thanks, Taylor.
You're welcome.
Boy, she's animated today.
No, I'm not.
What do we have, Taylor?
Answer to his question. So there we go.
This person took a long time. I think.
What's your first name and where are you calling from?
Hey guys,
It's
good
Dan.
morning. It's Dan.
It's Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Our volunteer fireman.
Yes. Hi, Dan. Did you Google this? You took a long time calling.
Actually, I didn't. I had to Google the appearances for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
but I think he's got a number.
Fair.
Yeah.
But I think I got I'm not even sure. Is it Snoopy?
Absolutely.
It absolutely is.
Okay. The hint about
drum.
the dog when you were talking about the dogs tipped it off.
Yeah.
There's not so many other dog
I
ones
don't
out
remember
there.
any.
You have a dog at the firehouse? You have a Dalmatian?
There is Dalmatians in the fire department, so yeah, we've seen them around the firehouse. It's always great when they show up. They fit.
they sit, stay, and quiet. How many times there?
But yeah, I
Dan?
think it was 43 appearances. I had to look that one up.
That
Is that right?
Yeah,
All right.
Richard Petty.
All right.
And yes, and it started in 1968, and in 2016 they switched it over to Charlie Brown. But in 2019 they went back to Snoopy.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I guess people complained.
Yeah, because we love little snoopers.
Yeah, I
With
mean, that's just a
lemon.
fun thing. Who doesn't love Snoopy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Well, I look forward to that parade. That's always a great event.
Absolutely. Well, Dan, I'm sure you've been to
And
Sylvia's.
Paul's right about covering up those faucet bibs. It happened to me with we had our bib that went into the garage. The pipe came out from the garage, and I found out that one real cold winter, it had burst, even with the cover on it. And then when I opened up the wall, when they built these garages around here, they didn't put insulation in the walls.
No insulation.
It was just a bare wall to the outside.
Wow.
Yes, Dan.
That's
crazy.
most are
Why
like that.
wouldn't you put
Mine was like that
insulation
too.
in a garage?
Well, because it's not a heated space.
not
but
a
it
heated
doesn't
space.
matter. It keeps the really bitter
Yeah, but
cold
see,
out.
that's I insulated mine, and I caused a moisture mold problem because I over insulated the garage, and there was no heat in there, and it just caused.
And that's a perfect
interesting.
segue. What I was going to say about Thanksgiving.
Well,
100%.
let's Dan.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you that very important question that you always know the answer to, so I probably don't even have to ask you, and you can answer it.
You have to ask me who my favorite plumber is.
All right, don't insult Paul.
Paul Nebrasky, WTBQ, and WGHT.
You
Yeah,
got
there
it.
we go. Hold on, I'm going to tell you how to get the gift certificate. Thanks,
All right,
Dan.
thanks, guys. Have a
And
great
thank
day.
you for
and,
your volunteer
when
work.
is the very first roast beef
yeah,
dinner coming
we
up?
need that.
It is coming up. I'm going to let you guys know, and you could advertise it all for us. But we're
Please.
getting ready for
All
sure.
right.
You think it'll be
Because
before
Ryan
the?
has to put it on his schedule.
Is it going to be before the end of the year?
I don't know. I think that we're going to be in the new year.
All right.
We just have some logistics that we're still trying to work out, but it should be early in the new year.
Well, looking forward to it.
Terrific.
Can't wait.
Thank you, Dan.
Hey, thanks,
All right.
Dan. Good talking.
Take
All right,
care.
Dan, thank you.
As
Bye-bye.
always.
All right. One of your local fire departments in the area
He's
does a
such
great job.
guy, Dan. He
So
really is.
Dan brought up another quick subject. His hose bib was not a frost-free.
Yeah.
So his had to be shut off somewhere and then drained. Okay, so he said he covered his up probably with insulation, but it doesn't. It's still got to be drained with water because your garages are not insulated.
Right.
And so he brought up another point. If it's a frost-free, if you have a shut it off and drain it. But if you have a frost-free, most likely there's not a shut off. Just take the hose off and you're good. Okay. Any questions? Take a picture of it. Send it text it to my office and I'll let you know, or email it to my office free of charge.
Okay, that sounds
It's
great.
important. And
It is very important. I've actually had one burst on mine, but it burst outside by the handle. And there was a beautiful ice sculpture in the backyard that it created.
Imagine coming home and finding that in your basement.
Yeah, no, that would
No,
be good.
thanks.
Because water
All right.
builds up pretty quick if it gets a leak like that.
You brought up moisture, Frank, and I want to bring up a question that maybe not today people are thinking about as much, but they have the last few years, and that is having a lot of people over your house in sickness. You watch Sunday morning like I do, okay? You watch Sunday morning like I do. And you watched 2 weeks ago, they talked about the COVID and what buildings are doing to bring people back and not get sick in the buildings. Did you watch that
Did we see
segment?
that one, Taylor? I don't know if we saw that segment.
Yeah, it was. Well, I'll talk
Okay,
about
yeah, but what happened?
Well,
Yeah.
well, the biggest thing they found in all these buildings with people working and offices is air exchange. That they did a study that if somebody sneezes and there's no fans going, no air exchanges, it just goes out to the person next to you.
Oh.
But if there's a fan running and there's healthy air in the building, it goes up, and there was a 90% less rate of people getting sick.
Interesting.
There was a church that whole church choir got sick, and they investigated. So let's talk about Thanksgiving if you're worried about getting sick.
By the way, I got a text from Leo Cadis from Leo Cadis Ford, who is doing this Friday, tomorrow morning.
Oh, yes.
We will be there starting at 8 a.m., going till noon. They're doing a free breakfast for veterans and your spouses or your partners or your friend, whoever you need to bring, your caretaker, over at Leo Cadis Ford on 94 South. You can't miss it, believe me. And by the way, he said Snoopy is going to be the lead float this year.
Very nice.
All right, and I think it's going to be driven by a Ford.
Oh.
Really not.
What
They
did you
carry
No, we
the
don't know.
floats.
That was a good
Usually
plug,
don't see those
Leo.
cars.
Yeah, good plug. You owe me a minute like Tony. Okay.
Electric Ford.
Electric Ford, a Mustang. Yeah, absolutely. So, but let's just talk about air exchange, right? Even talking about Leo and Leo's people coming in. So what they found is a couple things you need to keep yourself healthy. And you need to, and I tell my customers all the time. Number one, MERV 13 filter. Talk about that. Did you check what size filter you have here, Frank? Do you even know?
I have no idea.
It's not
It
size.
needs
So
some
MERV
changing.
13 filter, you get them right at Home Depot or Lowe's. They get most 99% of particles out of your house.
Yeah, but it also restricts the airflow a little bit more
It does. You got to check. We talked about that.
because
But-
sometimes it may overstrain the system if
Yeah.
it can't handle it.
And what about putting that ultraviolet light on this?
right. That's number two, Taylor. So number two is, and that's a little bit expensive, is putting a UV light they showed work. And I told you when I first came on the show years ago, I didn't believe in UV lights. I believe in them now. They're tested. I put them in my own house where other people in my household had COVID, but other people didn't get. So a UV light is taking care of viruses. Okay, so it as
What
things-
about for the septic system? I've heard that too.
yes, totally different. Let's just say on indoor air quality.
Now, of course, if you don't have forced air heating, you really don't have that option.
Yeah, so let's talk. That's a great option. Okay, so first of all, if you have air conditioning, you can run the fan only, but not forced air. Okay, like you do in your house, you have air conditioning and baseboard heat. You can just run the air conditioning on fan only.
So if we have a
and
bunch of
move that
people
air.
over, it would be a good idea to put the fan on.
Right.
It'll circulate the air.
Oh, that
and
is a
it'll
good
go through
idea.
that filter and
Right.
take out some of the impurities.
And
When we have our party, we'll do that.
right, and here is something that's very important that if you want to do, and they tell people to do now, is air exchange. They found is the most important thing. So when you talked about mold, is taking your air at least 3 times an hour, changing the air in your building with today's type building. So you take the bad air out, bring in fresh air.
3
now.
times an hour.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but that never happens because in the wintertime we don't have any heat on,
Right.
or we have the heat on, but if it's
Right.
not a forced air, no windows open.
Correct. But so what we're putting in today's all new houses is an air exchange system. That's expensive to put in, or not really. We can do that in your house. But if it's Thanksgiving and you're worried about getting sick, and usually my house overheats during Thanksgiving because
Open the
all
windows?
cooking, open a window in the front, open a window in the back, and just let the air come in and out. And if somebody's sick, okay, hopefully you're changing that air with the bad air and bringing in good air. Very important. That's what I've always told people when I watch this 60 Minutes, and they had this, Harvard professor or whatever. They did all these tests, and that's exactly the right way to be.
I just read the other day too that if you bring in a houseplant, an English ivy, that it actually gets rid of mold spores. Did you ever hear about that? It was on my news feed.
Did not hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But plants do help purify the air a little bit.
Yeah.
I agree.
Not
but
as much as the
not
others.
the way I kill plants. Okay.
Not the way Taylor kills planes.
Right, and I'm going to lose.
I've never
and you're
killed
talking
a
about me
plant.
giving away things and losing money.
Just look at the plant next to you.
Forget
Taylor
about the
took care of that
UV
one.
light.
Trying to kill it.
Just go
You
down
can't.
and buy plants, and we don't need UV lights.
There you
That's
go.
really good. So,
By the way, is it expensive to operate these things?
no, they are not.
They're not like 100-watt bulbs on all the time? Or?
No, they're not. And they last 3 years, and opening the front door and the back door is not bad either.
Let's see if we can get Paul to guess this.
But wait a minute. Before you do that, Paul, is that bulb on all the time or only when the system comes on?
You can do it both ways. You can do it both ways. I leave mine on all the time just so I don't worry about it.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so our new home, we have central air, central heat, obviously. What do you think our last bill was for the month? Just a guess.
Well,
For what, Taylor?
For the
what?
house,
You
electric.
mean for electric? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, there's only two of you, and so I'm thinking $180.
Want to tell them?
You tell them.
Under $24.
Okay.
Well, obviously we were not using the air conditioner that month.
But
And
I
that-
mean,
Right.
that's
and-
crazy.
and we
That's
don't leave lights on.
3,000 square feet.
No, it has nothing to do with
Yeah.
that. Two people take up as much. You're only, in other words, whether you have a small house or a big house, if you're in a room and you got the TV and the light on, if you're in a big house, you're in that room with the TV and the light on, the other lights aren't on, you're going to use the same electricity.
And honestly, September is what I call a changeover month.
Yeah, it's a great month for saving money, I'll tell you.
It's not a heating month.
Yep.
And it's not a cooling month.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. And
Talking October.
October too. Same thing. September,
Yeah.
October.
We've had a warm month, but not too warm for
or
the
what
year.
I call shoulder months in my business.
Yep.
Okay. Same thing. April, May.
Yeah.
You're not heating. You're not cooling. You can open up the window. So that's when you should be the lowest.
That's where we need to move to a climate where that's like that all the time, you know?
So Taylor mentioned septic tanks before.
Right.
Right. So one of the things I want you to do if you're having a lot of people over, and it's probably not enough time now, when was the last time you emptied your septic? Okay.
I don't think.
Taylor
well, we
goes out
just
there and
got
buckets
there.
it out every week. I make her do that.
Okay, exactly. So my point is with that, the worst thing you want to do is have your septic full with 27 people there. Now mine's got full twice. I
So
don't.
how do you
Did it
do
really?
that?
Well, two things you do.
Your new house that got filled or no? The
it
old
was
one?
it was a long story. I was off fishing, and all the fishermen. I'm fishing, and I'm upstate. And Eileen calls me. There's sewage in the basement, and then she's like, "I told you to get the septic pump." And twice it happened in my old house. Both times I was fishing, and now every time I go fishing, I call the septic guy because I don't want to be bothered.
Now,
while I'm
I
fishing.
use those natural things you flush down the
Yeah.
toilet once a month. Do
Yeah.
they help?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go over this. Your septic should be drained, and I have a chart, but we don't have to go over the whole chart. But if you guys want to know, call me. I'll send you a chart. Every 3 to 5 years, depending on how many people
And
in
I'll
your
bet
house.
you nobody is
Okay.
taking care of that at all.
If you have
ever.
you and Taylor in the house, it's closer to the 5 years or 6 years.
No, not. But I'm going to tell you why.
Okay, here we go.
Taylor heats the bathroom
I don't heat it. You
by
shut
putting the shower on and letting it run for 10, 20 minutes.
That's not true.
Okay.
Tell her where the water goes.
Okay, but you know what though? That is not going to hurt your septic because what that's doing, Frank, that is going into the septic tank and out into your leach field. Okay,
You think?
I know.
Well, no.
Have I introduced you?
Yeah, it's the paper and the toilet paper and the garbage that fills your tank, not the water. Okay, the water goes out. Okay, so the water comes in, goes out into your leach field and back into the ground.
So it's okay to run. Running the water doesn't have anything
But
to
I
do.
don't run the water for that reason. I run it because it takes a minute or two to get hot.
No, and most people do that. I'm
Right.
not telling you if you have a bad leach field, it's bad, but it's really the other stuff, the
Right.
toilet paper, the garbage that you put down. But and so that 3 to 5 years for a normal family.
Okay.
But if you have like an extended family, like our assemblyman always has from New Jersey, he always has 20 people in his house.
Right.
You want to do more
Kevin
people.
Rooney.
Yeah, more people. You want to do it more often. Okay. So
All
if
right.
you have 8 people in the house, almost every year.
Is there a ballpark figure for how much it costs to do that?
I don't remember, but there's a bunch of septic pumping guys right here in Warwick I've used for years. I'll think of his name in a minute.
Yeah,
Let us
I went
know,
to
'cause I
college
would
for
like
that, but
that. I
I
would
didn't.
like
I
it.
didn't take it.
Yes, I said you were full of it.
You know what they call them? You know what the nickname of them are? Honey dippers.
Honey dippers.
They call the septic pumping guys.
Why would
honey
you
dip.
call them honey dippers?
I'm just because they're
That's
going in,
it.
and that's what
Taking
they're
out the
called. A
honey.
lot of them have bees on the back of their trucks and honey dripping. They're called honey
okay.
dippers.
Yeah,
It's
we really
a calling.
Yeah.
we should do that because I will bet you right now That's never
All right,
been
well, let
done.
Paul go because he's got more to go here.
All right, yeah, because
All right, so-
8:45 we have someone calling in.
Well, that's all right.
All right. Well, I'll just have to come in tomorrow. Okay.
Come in. We'll keep 'em later.
Okay. So let's just talk. This is really important. If you're worried about getting sick and you have elderly there, change your filter. If you have a UV, fine. If you have a newer house that has an air exchange system, fine. But if not, open up a front door, back door, change the air in that house, and guaranteed that you're going to be a lot
We
better
should
off.
do that while you're painting.
Okay.
All right, so-
and just so you know, you really don't get sick in airplanes. Airplanes put a MERV 13 filter, and even better, and they exchange the air all the time.
So
I'm
why do
gonna
you get sick on a
disagree.
flight?
Yeah, everybody I know has gotten sick after they've flown.
I think, but they found COVID isn't traveling that much. I just think because
I
you're
think
sitting
it's
next
just
to somebody
I was
close.
just going to say that.
Yeah.
But as
Everybody's
far as
so
the air in
close.
an airplane, it's better than the air in your house because every minute they're taking air from the atmosphere, bringing it in, and taking that other air out.
All right.
So it makes a big difference. All right. So I just want to talk about that. We talked about a septic tank. All right. What about and this is funny. What about how many of us have ever gone into somebody's bathroom and clogged it?
Oh, I don't think
I
I've ever
never
done
have.
that. No,
I
I
have.
haven't.
But you get
Okay.
nervous if you don't see a plunger there or something. A lot of people don't have
Frank,
it.
you get so nervous. A plunger or spray.
Why are you
right?
going, yes,
it's,
Ryan?
It's like it's a 100%. Ryan's laughing right here. He's a big boy. I'm
Yeah.
sure he needs that plunger.
You never know.
I remember my kids were his age.
Yeah.
A lot of fiber in those diets.
Without that plunger there, then what do you do? You know.
Then what do you do, right? And it's so so the bottom line with that is two things. If you're having people from New York City who live on a sewer system, a lot of them like to use wipes, or hand wipes or baby wipes, or they don't know not to put the paper towels if you leave that in your bathroom.
Oh my gosh, no.
No, but it happens, and especially during COVID, we had a lot of people. Everybody was
Because they ran out of toilet paper.
and they were using wipes. So
Wipes are I found out from somebody I know, Michael Decker, told me years ago, people keep flushing them and they're not flushable and they clogged up somebody's septic system.
Well, they say flushable there, but so the bottom line is, truthfully, put a plunger in your bathroom, right? For your, I don't care what it looks like, but also don't put a garbage can in there because I've had problems with that. I just had to deal with a place that in Warwick, that commercial place, and they kept saying the toilets were getting clogged and brand new. And we walked in there, there was no garbage in the ladies' room.
Oh, so they were putting the paper towels down.
Into
The
the-
paper towels and sanitary
Oh,
napkins.
my
Okay.
gosh.
So, and those two are the worst. Okay. So make sure you have a garbage, but also if you have any wipes in there, because like we have wipes in ours and baby wipes, all that, move them, get them out of your bathroom because your guests will use them. Okay. So, and that's a big thing. And that's one of the reasons, Brown Friday is the biggest day of the year for me.
Yeah, so this is what you do if you're at a party and he's there and Paul is there. What you do is, and you've clogged the toilet, you come out of the toilet, it's clogged, nothing you can do about it. You walk downstairs, you go to Paul and you say, Paul, somebody just told me you have a flat tire on your car outside. You want to go take a look at it? You send Paul outside, and then you go, hey, anybody seen Paul? Like, wait a minute, he's in the bathroom.
Right.
I'll get him in a few
I
minutes.
knew you were going
right?
there.
And then a few minutes later, somebody goes upstairs, hey, somebody clogged the toilet. Everybody looks at Paul.
Exactly.
Sounds good to me.
You know what I think of? The best bathroom scene ever in the movies when Something About Mary.
I didn't see that one
I
yet.
didn't either.
Oh my! You have to watch. Ryan, you saw it, right?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, watch it and then talk about this. Fast forward to the bathroom scene.
All right.
Okay, and you understand what I'm talking about. So this is every single year we talk about this every single
So
year.
this gets you guys busy the day after Black Friday?
Well, because people are using the plumbing the most they ever have.
Yeah, and
On-
you have
okay.
20 people over for Thanksgiving. They're using your bathroom.
Oh, so Black Friday. This is Black Friday day because people have used it on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving Day.
And if you remember my first year, we were all laughing. My question was, what do we call it? We call it Brown Friday. Okay, and it's our busiest day of the year.
Wow.
Okay, for plumbing. So I'm going to tell you, we talk about this all the time. Number 2 call, okay, that we get is this time of year is the emergency switch.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people do that. They think it's a light for the
they
basement.
think they want to go down your basement or
Yeah.
they want to check something
Yes.
out and they flip the switch.
Or you go down your basement once a year, because a lot of people don't go in their basement to get your chairs and get your Thanksgiving decorations and your Christmas decorations, and you think it's the light switch, okay? Every year we get that call.
Yeah, that big red switch
and,
is not
and
a-
Thanksgiving, and it's a horrible call because I now trained all my guys when they call back, please ask the customer that and if they change their batteries on the thermostat. Because when you go out and just hit that switch, even though they're going out on Thanksgiving and the guy doesn't want to leave his family, I'm paying him twice as much as I should, right, for leaving his family. They hit the switch and the people are like, I don't want to pay for that.
All right, so yeah, exactly. But you sent the guy out, and what can you do? You know, the guys.
Right.
So here's the deal: what you should do, and you want to become a good inventor and make some money and get out of plumbing completely. Invent a switch that isn't a light switch. That maybe it's a push button or something completely different. And that will be the switch that you put on everybody's furnace, and then nobody would ever flip it as a light
Yeah.
because it doesn't look like a light switch. Invent something completely different.
Yeah, that's, they actually have plastic covers that go over where you can't, and I should tell everybody to get them. And it's not the one that's down on the boiler furnace. It's the one at the top of your stairs.
I don't think we have one in this house.
I don't know if I noticed it or not.
I don't think there is one.
But most of the houses built in the 80s and 90s, that's where they put them. So
But later on, they don't, huh?
I don't remember seeing them.
I don't see one either. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I sit in the office and push paper, so I can ask my guys.
Yeah.
But as you're first going down your stairs, it's usually right above your light switch on the right hand side.
And the reason why they have one on the machine too.
Yes.
But the reason why they have it so high up is that if you have an emergency, you want to be able to shut it before you go downstairs?
Before you go downstairs. It's a good place for it. It really is. It's a good place. So I just want to bring that up because we get those calls all through the year. And now we talk to them about it to make sure the switch is on because sending people out it causes more.
Yeah, and you're on a holiday rate too, you know?
Right, we're on a holiday rate. And again, we're charging more for the holiday rate because I'm paying
Emergency
my man
call,
more,
yeah.
and I should. And to be honest with you, my guy doesn't want to leave his family either. Okay, so you're saying I'm losing money? No, that's the type of money we don't want to make.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, and it's just a stupid things like that can be avoided. You
Right.
know?
And let me ask you a question. Do you have a garbage disposal in the new house?
Oh, we do not. No.
All right. So garbage disposals, I know we have that call in a minute, but I'm with this. Garbage disposals are getting more prevalent here. It used to be if you were on a septic, they did not want you to have a garbage disposal. They felt the septic couldn't handle the ground up food. You go to states like Florida and other states who have, don't have septics, it's code. It's in the code that you must have a garbage disposal.
You must have it.
Yes, because
Why?
they're keeping stuff out of landfills.
But it's going somewhere.
Right, but it gets processed at the sewer treatment plant compared to putting in the landfill.
Right.
And now today's garbage disposals are they grind it up enough where septic systems are they're called septic safe, and you can use them. And I love garbage disposals.
Well, what can you put in a garbage disposal?
Well, it's what you should not put in a garbage disposal,
Yeah,
right?
no bananas.
Potato peels, celery,
Right.
eggshells.
Because that clogs it up.
Yeah, what it does
It's
is
too, oily.
Yeah, or fibrous stuff, turkey bones. Okay, that stuff.
You know what's great that I use instead of a garbage disposal? It's called a recycling bin in the backyard. So you put a layer of leaves in there, and then you start putting in your kitchen stuff, and then another layer of leaves and your kitchen stuff. And by the end of the year, you have black gold in there.
So, I saw that at your house, and I thought you were digging Frank's grave already for
Well,
me.
that's on the other side of the house.
Oh, because I'm like,
That's a
I saw
rectangular.
that, and I was like, what are
It's
you starting that
rectangular.
already? You're working on it all the time?
Yeah, she does a lot of work to get those things ready.
So it tells you in the box, garbage disposals are great. They save you a lot of garbage, but don't put the wrong stuff down them. Okay. Yeah. And that's a call we get every year.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us before we go to the next segment, and Paul can hang with us, about plumbing that we should know for the weekend?
You know what? The only other thing I want to talk about real quick is, because this is important too, because we always get this question. People travel during Thanksgiving. What to do with your heat and your water? Big question we get, right? We get people come home after being gone for a week.
They got reunions in certain cities and everything too.
So they asked me two questions. Number one, should I shut my water off? I always answer that you don't have to before you leave for a week, or if you're going, not a bad idea to shut your water off.
Really?
Okay.
That's from the main?
Yeah. Listen, I can never say, and then where will my heat run if heat has water? It will. The question is, if you're worried about it, okay, shut it off. I can't tell you no.
What happens to the water heater?
The water heater doesn't need water if you're not running the water.
Unless there's a leak.
Well, that's why you shut your water off, though. 100% agreed, Frank.
And what would happen to your water heater if it ran dry?
If it's electric water heater, the elements would go bad, and a gas hot water heater would just shut itself off. But what I try to tell my customers now, and you can get them at Home Depot. I don't know if you can install it yourself. I've been talking about these for years too. They make automatic shutoffs that you can see if it's a leak in your house right from your phone. Okay, so you put it on your water main. It tells you how much water you use, if there's a leak, and it will automatically shut the water off if there's a leak or alert you. And I have always told the story when I built my new house and the company came out to install my washer and dryer, the washer was leaking. And I called Eileen because it kept telling me there's water running in your house. I called Eileen. I said, "Are you running water?" She goes, "I'm not even home." I shut the water off on my phone. I got home and it was almost out to the hardwood floor. It would have ruined my house.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Yes. And that's the point. So these automatic mowing makes one. There's a bunch of them. I agree. So I think, and now
Safety,
the
yeah.
insurance companies are starting to give you discounts for that.
Oh,
I
that's-
can't
that's
tell you
great.
how many people come home in the winter. So that's question number one. If you're worried about shutting your water off, shut it off. If you're going away for an extended period of time, people ask me, what should they keep the heat on? I believe in a minimum.
65?
I believe in a minimum of 60, and I believe in 65, Taylor.
Yeah,
okay?
that's my feeling,
I
too.
know you want to save money, but if you have an older house, like our fireman talked about before, without the proper insulation,
Right.
all right, those water pipes for your heating, if you have baseboard heating like you do, Frank, run on the outside wall. So when the heat turns on, they move. It's harder to freeze moving water. So at least if you're leaving your heat running a little bit, it's going to move that water and you can freeze less. The other thing is that if you shut it all the way down, your sheetrock, your other things in your house, they need heat. It's not made to get super cold and go back up, as you know. So
Yeah, you can run the paint and everything else in the
I would
house.
say 60 to 65. So those are a lot. I got other stuff. We'll do that another
And
time.
if you're concerned about the water heater, I guess if you're saying, well, maybe then you can just turn the power off to that too, right? Hit the circuit breaker.
So that's a great question. So if you have a gas water heater, which I would say the majority of people here do, you can turn it to vacation mode. On the bottom, it's either low or vacation mode. So then it's also not turning on and not wasting gas while you're not home. And if you are concerned about your water heater, you can shut the valve off. Okay.
Or you can shut the circuit breaker.
If you have an electric water heater, you shut
Yeah.
the circuit breaker.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
We are after 9 and we're out of here at 9:30. So just two things I've got to
Are
mention.
you telling me I'm done?
You're done.
Well, you're going to hang them.